Deconverted Man here. Sorry, I just had to yell. I didn't really yell, though. I yelled for pretend. Deconverted Man here. The worst book. The worst apologetic book of all time. Full of lies. Outright, irredeemable lies. This, my friends, my foes, my colleagues in arms, those atheists, skeptics, and agnostics, and whatever you might be, spiritual person, whatever, I don't know. You, if you're watching this video, you might be saying, Deconverted Man, come on. The worst book of all time? Okay. Kent Hovind and Ham, they all just blend together. Ken Hovind, Ken Ham, all these K's, I don't know. They've written books? Come on, this can't be the worst. No. This is the worst book. By far. Maybe it's hyperbolic. I don't know. But we're not going to read all of it. It's a long book. But I'm going to read enough of it to convince you that this is the worst book of all time. Full of lies and logical fallacies. But yeah, I mean, usually when you lie, you tend to also incur logical fallacies because you're not telling the truth. So you're bound to say things that are illogical. But this dude just takes the cake. David Romanesca. Now, I don't know if you've heard of him or not. There's no way I'm pronouncing his last name ever. His book is called Evidence for God, Prophecies, Miracles, and the Power of God. Oh, yes. Cool. I hope to see evidence for God. That's like the first thing should be that. It shouldn't be anything else. Shouldn't be complaining about this or that or like, oh, this happened or this. No, it should be, here's the evidence. Here you go. Boom, done. Easy, right? No. No. Of course not. No, it's just, so the link for the book, which is offered for free on his website to download as a PDF, so I'm just going to read it out. Here we go. So, Scientific Evidence for God, this is chapter 1. In 1859, Charles Darwin published his theory on evolution, which developed over the past 160 years into now is taught in schools and colleges. But Darwin's theory is not taught as theory, but taught as if it were a scientific fact. Okay, just right out the gate, start with lying. Just immediately. Just that's how you start your book, is with an outright, complete fabrication of reality. No. That if that ever occurred, then those teachers should be fired. But no. Theory is not taught as scientific fact. There is no such thing as scientific fact. It's all theory. You don't know what the word theory is. You don't know what you're talking about. And this isn't a lie. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. And we know it's a lie. But he continues because he's not done lying yet. This theory, simply stated, expects us to believe without question. No, it doesn't. That once upon a time there was absolutely nothing. That's a lie too. No, Darwin's theory doesn't say that there was nothing. Ever. That's not in his theory. It's not part of his theory. And so this is an outright, blatant lie. You're just lying. That's it. You're just a big, giant liar at this point. Not even the smallest particle of any substance known to science, not even a speck of dust anywhere. Then, given billions of years, this nothing, and without any reason, suddenly evolved into something. That's not what Darwin's theory says at all. You're talking about cosmology, which Darwin's theory has nothing to do with at all, and Darwin's theory, which focuses on biological evolution by natural descent via common, common descent and all that, focuses purely on biology of life and evolution of life, and says nothing about the origins of life, which would be abiogenesis. It says nothing about where anything came from. It focuses completely and totally on how creatures, including we, evolved based on observations that he made in his studies when he went around the world to study what he studied. Finches were a big part of it, but there was other birds and things involved in that. But he noticed that creatures adapted to their location, and he wrote down his observations, and that developed into a theory of evolution via natural selection, which he also applied to humans and found that there should be evidence to back it up. And lo and behold, there has been evidence to back it up. And although we have moved far beyond Darwin now in evolutionary understanding, he was pretty much right on just about everything. Maybe he got a few things wrong here and there, but no, it's not. It doesn't say anything about that everything came from nothing. It says nothing like that at all. You're a liar. Why all this spacing? I don't know. Which abracadabra evolved into the universe into infinity and produced the stars, planet Earth, all forms of life, including the laws of math and physics. You're a liar. That's not what his theory is about. Many of you reading this book will be familiar with Richard Dawkins. What a topic change from that. Man, I love it. So after lying about Darwin, his theory, how it's taught in school, you just move on from that paragraph as if you've stated an absolute fact, which you haven't. No citations, of course, for any of this. If it was true, you could easily show when and where it happened that teachers were teaching this like a fact rather than a scientific theory. You could demonstrate that. No, you could cite his actual papers and say, hey, look, here's a quote. Here it says where he says it all came from nothing. There you go. No, of course not, because he is a liar. This man is a liar. Anyways, moving on. Richard Dawkins, an evolutionary biologist who's often interviewed on TV and well known for his atheist belief that God cannot exist. That isn't Richard Dawkins' position, but you don't know anything, so I'm not surprised that you don't understand Dawkins' position on that. I don't think that Dawkins has said that God cannot exist. Dawkins doesn't believe in God. He thinks it's quite funny and silly and a fairy tale. And anyways, yet in a TV interview with Piers Morgan on his TV show Piers Morgan Ancestor, 3rd of September 2024, an actual citation. Wow. Dawkins' second interview with Morgan, Dawkins refers to his first interview with Morgan, saying he should not have asked a particular question on his first interview. This is because he always asks the people raising his interviews, so he's never asked that particular question ever. So Piers shouldn't ask him that question. This is actually correct. There is a question that Dawkins complains about being asked about and didn't want to be asked it, and Piers Morgan in his interview, which, hey, look at this. Oh, you know what? Oh, look, here we go. Here's the podcast. Yeah, you can actually check for yourself at about, let's see, what time index does this happen? I'm not sure if I can play this or not. I mean, I feel like it would be fair use, but I'm not sure. And the play button seems to have gone away. Anyways, play button is there, and then you go up here.
There has to be
That which
a power that is greater than the human brain.
God is just a personification of
it
human
disappeared. Oh, there it is.
desires,
Way down here
a
at the bottom.
supernatural sky
So it was about, I don't know, it was about
Almost praying.
a minute-ish, I guess, or so. I mean, you can find it pretty easily where Dawkins talks about this question. And whatever this question is, Piers Morgan doesn't ask that question. He doesn't. He's just, okay, well, you know, as long as you don't think I'm a fool, because Dawkins said he was a fool, and you didn't like that. And he's like, oh, no, you're not a fool. You know, I was upset because of the question. And so then Piers Morgan moves on. He's like, okay, let's talk about this thing. And whatever that question was, I don't know. I have no idea what he's been. I don't know what that's talking about. I don't know. But he moves on. But that's not what this guy, the liar, who has written this book, says happens. And you can check the thing for yourself. I'll put the link to that podcast in the description as well. I did forget to add that link, but I'll put it in later. But that's not what happens. Okay, so he says, okay, we'll get this off. I don't need this now. He says, in Piers Morgan style, he gets Dawkins to refer to the question and actually states the question, which he's then obliged to answer. And that question is, no, oops, I'm not showing my screen again. And, okay, so what he's saying here, that does not happen. That doesn't occur in this interview. It doesn't happen. He's lying. Those scientists who believe in evolution and the Big Bang Theory were once upon a time nothing existed. Then, following a Big Bang which happened all by itself without any particular reason, not caused by any outside force, matter came into existence. The question is, what existed before the Big Bang? No, Piers Morgan does not ask that question. At all. That's not the question that Piers Morgan actually asked. He did want to talk about God and evolution and things like that with Dawkins. But this is a complete and utter, it's just a lie. It's not even a misrepresentation of what was said. It's just, that wasn't said at all. But thanks for giving us a citation so we can check and see how much of a liar you really are. So what he does, Morgan does ask about what's before the Big Bang, and Dawkins rightly says that's a physicist question. He's a biologist, not a physicist. But in the book, he says physics tell us that we're not even to ask the question. No, Dawkins did not say that. You're lying. You're a liar. And no, that's not what Dawkins says in the interview. Piers Morgan continued to question Dawkins by saying it's illogical to assume nothing existed before the Big Bang, and the Big Bang could have happened without external force of any kind. Again, none of this doesn't happen. You know, it doesn't happen this way. The guy's a liar. So, need I read on? I mean, it just gets worse from here. So, like I said, you know, this is the worst apologetic book of all time. But maybe I need to review the whole thing, I guess, and just point out, like, every single time it's wrong. I mean, it could be a full series. I'm not sure what else I could do other than just say, well, there's another lie, there's another lie, there's another lie. But yeah, that's it. And so that's all I got. Yeah, just make this a quick one. Check out the book and check out the podcast and just see how much this guy is lying. Why is he lying? I don't know, but he is. And he made a book where he lies. All right, well, until next time, be skeptical. And after that, stay skeptical.